You tell them about your problems in marriage, they go and spread it to the 5,000.
That's why sometimes guys are upset with the 5,000 because they weren't with them during shida.
They belong there. They're supposed to be down there.
Observers.
Yeah. They're supposed to be down there. They're observing and wanting from you. They'll call and say, so ntakula. Then you fix them. You sort their problems out. And the 70 also are not John. So you really have to sit down with a pen and a paper and decide who is where. And also judge them with time and their actions. You don't promote them based off of what you have known you for a long time. There's a big difference between quality and quantity. Many times people say I've been married for 32 years. Now I'm happily married. Is it really true? It would be that you've just been married for a long time. But you have a qualitative relationship. You can have a short marriage that is qualitative and a long one that is bogus. So you can't upgrade your friends based on length of time. I hear people saying, hey, Stephanie, stand. I've known Stephanie since we were in nursery school. That means nothing. Methuselah is credited to having lived for 900 and something years. But that's all there is. But Jesus, with his 33 and a half years, changed the entire globe to this day.
Dope stuff.
But huyu jamaa mwingine alipiga mamiaka tu.
Aliishi yake. Man. So gym, bado unatandika gym yako yote?
Bado naenda gym. Bado naenda. It's become a lifestyle, man. This is my, I think, 4.5 years of working out. So it's become a lifestyle. I like working out.
You work out, okay, if you don't mind sharing. You go at around 10?
It depends. I've mixed my classes to break monotony of sameness. So there are times I can go at a 6 o'clock class. Other times I can go in the evening class. And then there are different classes. So like now I'm bulking. So I'm doing a lot of weightlifting and a lot of, pumping iron. Back in the day, because I was shredding, I was doing a lot of cardio and functional fitness. So it's seasonal, really. There are times you are bored with bulking, then you go back to shredding. The other times you've shred too much, you bulk. So I can do a 10 o'clock class. I prefer earlier ones, sometimes 8 to 9 or 7 to 8 before it gets really hot and busy. But there are many times I also go in the evenings.
Do you sometimes choke with gymming? It's just part of your life.
It's become a habit. But when you get tired, you take a break. Sometimes, so a habit I'm trying to inculcate is after every 3 months, I go on a 1 week break.
So
that I rest a bit. So and that has been working pretty good. I think sometimes I forget to do it, and then maybe I rest, or my body is almost crashing. Then I take a break for 3-4 days.
Do you think that gymming helps you develop discipline for other things? Well,
you would say that. Yeah, I think so. I think so, yeah. Because, you're really trying your limits. Sometimes you have to do more reps. Sometimes you're doing something that you don't need to do. Like you see, you don't really need to work out. You want to, but you don't need to. And some workouts are really trying and testing your ability and agility and pressure. So many times if you can bring that mindset you brought from the gym to the marketplace in terms of work getting tough or relationships getting tough, then it can make your work easier.
Yeah, because I've had many guys saying that in the morning you should do something you don't like doing.
I think it's Mark Twain who used to say you have to start your day by eating the frogs. Eat your frogs in the morning. So that nothing again that will happen that day will dampen your spirit or put you down.
I think that's why many guys gym in the morning, you guys.
I like that Nairobi is picking up this culture for workouts, and women are actually more now in the gyms than men. There are a lot of women working out now.
I feel like our parents, especially my mom's generation, they didn't really think about that aspect of life. So many of them found themselves to be overweight, and it really brought problems now in the like for my mom, when she grew older, she used to tell me, my friend was telling me to lose this weight. But she was also used to eating, some serious sembe, you guys. So she'd want to, but her habit of manure, she used to eat a mean ugali. So I feel like even when I saw during my mom's funeral the people up on her friends, you'd see many of them they need to cut. So maybe this information is now permeating now into our generation.
And thank God for we live in the internet age, so information is passed quickly. back in the day, not an excuse, but they didn't have any. The world was sort of big, but now it's been shrunk. It's become so small. So we can see real time, Oprah Winfrey's diet, or whoever celebrity we follow, whoever we like at the other end of the world doing whatever it is they do. And then information is easily accessible. I mean, now if you're ignorant or stupid, it's just because you've decided to.
True.
You can quickly, at the click of a button, learn about anatomy, about, with the invention of AI now, everything is a button away. So I think that also has worked to our advantage, unlike in our parents' time. And also the other thing which, behavior is imparted, if you saw your mother's mother, say your great-grandmother, just eating ugali, that's all you practice, because your behavior is imparted. You just eat ugali. It's very rare that somebody starts leaving to go to the gym, because it's really out of depth with anything they've ever seen. You can only grow as far as your eyes have ever seen. That's why you hear the Trevors of the world saying that they used to watch Eddie Murphy, and Eddie Murphy would say Richard Pryor. So as far as your eyes can see, I can bless you. But if you've not seen, what's your reference point? You can't want to be an astronaut and you've never known. They did a study in Kibra and they were asking young boys what they want to be when they grow up, and over 87% said they wanted to be watchmen.
Seriously, you guys?
Yeah.
That's sad, you guys.
Because that's what they see. But if they're in another locale or a county, if you went and asked the same question at Silicon Valley, I'm sure those kids will tell you maybe NASA, work with Microsoft, or work with whatever else they were seeing. So it's important to see. That's why traveling is also important. You see.
I wanted to ask you about that. Hold that thought. So unasema traveling can open up your eyes, you guys?
No, I think so, because you see. If you don't see, you have, again, a turtle view. You just think that expressway is the biggest road on the planet. You think Westlands is the best place. You think your father is the best dad. No offense to your dad.
I restarted it like that, and Kumbe it was recording.
Seriously? And then you chop at the serious stories.
So you're right. Kwanza, in fact, it's good you brought that traveling thing up. You've been, especially last year, and even I'm sure this year, you were traveling quite a bit.
Yes. I was blessed to get a gig. I'm a travel documentarian with an organization called Smile Train. So I go and record children. So they have Smile Train is it's the biggest cleft lip and palate organization in the world. It's an American company. So they do outreaches in the Horn of Africa. An outreach means they collect children who have cleft lip and palate, and then they correct it. So my work then is to record that from conception to conclusion. So I travel to their homes, interview their moms and their fathers, and then I go take them to the theater. I interview them before the operation and after the operation. And then I document it, I voice it, and then I give it to the company. So that's what I do for...
So you've been traveling quite a bit in relation to those things?
Yes. Because I've gone to Mogadishu last year, Ethiopia, Istanbul, Turkey,
in Ghana,
Rwanda. I've traveled quite a bit.
Like I remember when I went to Dubs back in the day, I really felt nice when I was there.
You like Dubai. I've actually never been to Dubai.
Yeah, which is interesting.
I've stopped once in that place. What is that place called?
Qatar.
I've been to Qatar twice and Abu Dhabi once, but I've never gone to Dubai. But I hear. But now as I'm growing older, I don't like these skyscrapers much. I find them to be very soulless cities. I think that's why I don't fancy New York. I mean, New York is nice for like a few days, but I don't like those tall buildings.
Concrete jungle.
I don't like them. I like a soulful city. That's why maybe I like the mother city.
Cape Town.
Cape Town.
You guys, which place have you gone which you liked then? Turkey.
No, I like Malibu. I love Los Angeles. Los Angeles is nice. Turkey is nice because Turkey is a fusion of Eastern culture and Western culture. It's very modern. And it's not soulless. They really still have the soul.
The human
They have the
touch.
human touch. LA, I like LA because LA is not loud. It has that coastal feel, but also very modern. It's like a modern Mombasa.
Oh, okay.
So
Clean
I like that.
and,
Very clean,
paved.
very orderly. I like that. I like South Africa, especially Cape Town.
You really love Cape Town, you
I
guys.
love Cape Town. Cape Town is, God willing, I'll go and retire at Camps Bay.
You're telling me about a place called Stellenbosch.
I love Stellenbosch. Uko juu. When you go to Cape Town, because now they don't require visas.
Yeah, now you can just check
It's very
in.
nice and clean, and it's quite white, but it's nice. I like it. I really feel at home there. Check me.
You guys, what do you think us guys, and I think I've had this convo with other guys, about, I wonder why us, we can just make our place look nice. What's wrong? Like you're saying, Africa looks the same.
It looks the same.
And then this place where it's sprinkled with a few whites looks a bit different. So, to be honest, don't you think it's a mindset problem, you guys? Like, look at Kitengela town, man. It's horrible, you guys. It's a terrible place. There's nowhere to walk for pedestrians. You got cows, goats on the road. You got bikes, donkeys.
There's a conversation that was once fathered, and the person asked, are Africans the way they are because of nature or nurture? So maybe that's something someone can ponder on. Is
You are your
Kitengela-
thoughts, you guys.
Is
I'm trying to
Kitengela the
dig
way
out
it is
your
because of nature or nurture? Or even to bring it more closely, would Obama have turned out to be who he is if he had grown up in Siaya?
In Kogelo, you guys.
Or would he have turned out the way he turned out because of his cancer's grandparents?
Yeah, true, you guys.
So I think, I don't know, honestly, I don't have the answers, but I think we are greedy people. Then we are very myopic. Like I remember last time I was in Istanbul, I came back at night, and everybody was going on Instagram about this super highway, and I felt quite depressed because it looked like a small kiosk. Because I was in Istanbul for 10 days, and then I came to what was being touted as a nice road, and I felt sad.
As in this is the level.
Kenya is a nice big village, including Nairobi.
Yeah, true. Because I remember when I was in Rwanda, there was someone who was telling me ati sasa huko Nairobi nasikia kuna barabara kubwa sana, magari sita zinaweza pita. So I guess
and Rwanda is catching up. I was in Rwanda. I was in April. Rwanda is really catching up, and if we continue playing, I think Kagame can pull a first one under our rugs. It's really orderly. I saw people in Rwanda at night walking. Security levels are impeccable. They even have lit the forests. You see, like our Uhuru Park here. There are proper lights inside that. You can walk at night and nothing will happen to you. I saw women walking by themselves, speaking on the phone at night, at 1 a.m.
Oh, at night.
In some sort of, not in town, like in some places slightly
A suburb of sorts.
yeah, suburb. And I was just like, this could never be Nairobi until and unless maybe we wake up.
Nairobi is weird. Like, look at this place, for example, where we are right now. Nice building, then next door, you guys, some trashy looking place.
Yeah. So
it's very ironical.
it's very nice. But you see, even now, the same is happening in South Africa. They are degrading.
Yeah, but
Like I haven't been recently, but people say that Johannesburg has now more potholes than I remember it to have.
Oh, it's losing its luster.
The Cape Town is still nice-ish because of that number of. But when I was last in South Africa, all those white people kept saying, "Oh, maybe I'll move to Australia." So it's becoming untenable.
I think we should have a major overhaul of our mindsets, you guys. So that the next generation thinks different as they're growing.
A lot has been touted to be going well in Botswana. I've never been. I don't know.
I've had such stories.
I
think Botswana and Rwanda are the unicorns.
Yeah. Botswana, Rwanda, and maybe Angola. I've never been there, but Angola, they say it's expensive but nice-ish. So I don't know. But Africa can be depressingly sad.
Yeah.
I mean, not to say the rest of the world is blissful. Of course, America has their qualms, so does Europe. But I feel like there's a lot we can do. And if we maybe mitigated our greed and we became a bit more humane, then maybe we could. These getting all you can for yourself culture can be a bit funny. And you see it across the aisle. You know, from Kina Thomas Sankara's to Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana to Djibouti to Mozambique. It's the same stuff. I was reading an article about this what is this country called? Senegal. And they have this president who's really ramrodding.
This is the guy who's work at the opposition guy.
Is it called Carl or some? I forget his name. Yes, like he's somebody, and it's just crazy. It's if somebody was reading without telling you where it is, you think they're talking about Nairobi. Or Ghana, or Nigeria, or Congo. It's weird.
It's a similar script.
It's so weird. Africa is a country. So weird. There's always a flamboyant politician doing something crazy in each African state. But so may God help us. May God help us, man.
Okay, we need all the help, Maze. So you guys, I just wanted to have you on, Maze. Ni furahi kukuongelesha hapa mbele ya kamera.
I'm happy to be here. Unajua hii kiti imekaliwa na watu shupavu sana. I've been watching some of your stuff. I think you had Juakali here.
Yeah, Juakali, man. Juakali is very down to earth fellow.
Yeah, we had Juakali. Did you tell him about our gig?
Yeah,
you know, back in the day, this guy and myself did a gig in Catholic University.
It was called Acacia.
That joint. Yeah, and it flopped. That was painful.
You guys, the entrance rates were going down every 30 minutes.
It was a whole...
Check it, ni sotano kuingia. Haya, ni sombili. Haya, uko na 50 bob.
It was just really bad. So,
but I think we just didn't know how to do that business, you guys.
Yeah, it was just.
We even hired DJ Nijo, you guys.
We had DJ Nijo. We had these big lights. No, these vitu zinaitwa aje ya kuproject mangoma. Check ama kechi na watu wana dance. This projector. Yeah, remember the big screens? There are two screens. We thought it was going to be a party.
Yeah, but
that place was empty at 9 o'clock, at 10. The owner of Acacia said we open the gate. Because now he's losing his drinks.
May thought there'll be traffic heading into that place.
That was I think we made 12K.
Yeah, we made some. You guys, we were mad at one another. We don't even buy the check.
We made 12K, and then the bouncers, we brought 20 bouncers because we got to expect commotion.
Yeah,
those bouncers were really on it.
But we paid them at least. That was sad. But you guys, thanks for coming through. And then also, this guy has really been a very good buddy of mine, you guys. Tangu ile siku nipe 200. I think tumekuwa mabeste sana tangu hizo days, you guys.
You guys,
God has was that, you guys? 2002.
Yeah, it was kitambo sana. Maybe 2003.
Hizo siku za huyo kuzo wako fulani.
Where? When we met in the cyber?
Yeah, bana. Remember your cousin?
Which one?
Was it your cousin or your friend, you guys?
Who did what?
There's a friend of yours from Kericho you're hanging with. Yeah, bana.
Can't even remember.
Don't you remember alikuwa amepata inheritance fulani?
Oh no, my friend, that is Eddie. No, he didn't get an inheritance. His dad died and the dad had some pension money.
Yeah, so you need inheritance.
Oh yeah. Remember, no, he's my friend. His name is Eddie. I haven't spoken to him, or I don't know where he is, but I think he's alive somewhere. Yeah,
but good. You have many guys you've maintained from those days, huh?
Me, I'm a guy for.
Do you think you're a keeper of friends?
Yeah. I think I move with my people. I rarely make new friendships that well, I can, but I try to be loyal with.
Have you also improved in having strangers around you guys?
Why would you need strangers around you?
Do you like people?
I love people.
Are you sure you guys?
Yeah, I love people, but just from a distance. Yeah, I love people. People come with quirks. I come with quirks too. And they just, even Jesus was not really a guy for. So remember Jesus ducking crowds.
But then he always used to duck.
Yeah. Like now, my friends, Jesus used to duck. People used to think that Jesus is a free fall dude. Sema Matthew, sema Joseph. He used to angalia kidogo alafu anatoroka.
Then he never stay in one place for long.
Yeah. But guys, familiarity breeds contempt. I keep to myself a bit. I'm a hermit. I like my space. I don't like going to people's houses much, and I pray and hope they extend me the same favor.
Oh, you don't want them to?
No, they can come, but not with the regularity of daily. Because so on a daily nitachoka.
But also visiting someone daily.
There are people who are very familiar. You tell them karibu now kesho. Nilikuwa napita hapo kwa gate. So like, so I love people, but just I prefer that. I like healthy relationships. And I think when you smother people with your presence, you can imagine kesho nikikuja hapa tena podcast. kesho kutwa tena, so you be like hey, leo sita shoot, si hata utaanza kuwepo.
Yes. Cheki tuna shoot kesho.
So mara moja ni mzuri kushinda daily.
So Eriq Stories unasema tunaipata every Friday.
Eriq Stories is on Instagram for now. On Fridays.
You know you stopped uploading on YouTube. What happened?
I will. I got busy maze. So umetoka kusema venye nilikuwa nasafiri.
Okay.
So nilikuwa busy sana. But I will. In fact, some lady was telling me you need to do those short clips on YouTube. So I will. But follow the page by all means. Check out some of the work we are doing on art. Eriq Stories, that is ERIQ_stories on Instagram and YouTube.
Oh, okay. So radio unaona ukirudi anytime soon?
I don't know, Maze, but not my will, but God's will.
Oh, true.
Because I feel like the
But how about the argument of influencing the space from inside?
No, I can influence people from my living room with Eriq Stories. Honestly, by the grace of God, I hope not. Or if I do it.
It has to be very curated.
It has to be curated, and someone fell. I don't like idiots. Honestly, I don't have that grace yet. God is still working on me yet. Hopefully, I get better. But I was getting very angry. They would. I remember one guy used to tell us on that radio job to talk about clitoris.
Yeah, I remember.
Why don't you talk about? So I'm like, what?
Can you imagine that a long clitoris?
Yeah, that was an off guy. But how do stupid people get to those places?
I wonder, you guys.
And then the people who hire them don't know that they're stupid.
I don't know what deals they're doing, so they back you in those spaces. Because me, if I were to see someone is doing something off, I'd either move them or fire them. You get?
Yeah, man.
So the fact, and there are many, sad to say, and I've discussed this before on this podcast, many of these unreasonable people are their gatekeepers. And that is why most people are going out of mainstream media.
If
these guys don't change that thing, you get mainstream media will die.
It has already died.
Huh?
Like utterly idiotic. Like hata abatishi. Cheki mimi ni kondoo.
No, but thank God for these new media spaces, because you see, them days, I feel like their pride came from the fact that if they shut you down, like now you, for instance, if they say wewe usikuje job on Monday, they've shut you down.
Yeah.
So you'll never ever have a voice.
Yeah, which is
but
stupid.
thank God for the internet.
Well, the internet also, but you see, people are drawn to different things. I don't care for fame. Really, I don't. I mean, you know me. I don't care for... One of the things that make me the most uncomfortable, even when you're working on radio, is me having my face on a billboard. I used to cringe at that. And then they'd put my face on matatus. I don't like that stuff. So what I care about is impact work. Like, if I can have a conversation that somebody can leave and say, that's interesting. You know, I've picked something from that. I think that will make me fix this and the other. I'm really happy doing that. You don't even need to credit me. If you're fixed and you're good with something I shared, me, I'm happy. I don't care for a billboard. I don't care. So most of these gatekeepers we are talking about have a diminished thinking that they've made you. They have a demigod or a god complex.
Yeah, true.
So they feel like, huyu jamaa umemake mama.
Ama nimempea favor fulani.
No.
It's not a favor, you're working.
You are working, and gifts are God-given. Fame is man-given. I don't care for that fame. You can keep it. Me, I just want to express my gift that God gave me in a positive way, so that one day when I depart this space, I can go and give an account and say, so you gave me this, and I gave it back, and now I've come back to you completely done. But these are the politics, you know, that office politics. Who is employing their girlfriend? Someone has maybe wants you to work with their side piece, and their side piece is untouchable, for instance. So you just make sure they are happy. Is that foolish thing? Or somebody coming and saying only talk about black couches, don't talk about blue couches. I don't know if I can do that. So there are people who are happy with that, and that they can be pushed like a condor. I know I can't. I can't do it. You saw me. I struggled. I couldn't, and I left. And I think our work at that radio station vindicates me and vindicates us.
No, till today I meet many guys who are even on this pod who really ask, where did you guys go? We loved that show, man. The show did well.
But I think there's some characters there We were funny.
But I don't know how much we've lost, in terms of media, like how much we've lost because of this weird characters
but
running.
Unfortunately, when I speak to my friends in the medicine world and lecturers and lawyers, it seems to be a common
even in those
across
places?
the aisle. Yeah. In most disciplines, I think our biggest problem in this country, I would say, is lack of integrity. Lack of integrity, and then we don't reward with everything. Like if, say, you wanted a cleaner for this space and you announced up or downstairs, you say, I'm looking for a lady to clean my house. All you have to do is to come to my house tomorrow at 8 with your ID. If 10 people were approached for that announcement, 10 people without work, without food, only 1% will show up. And many times that 1% will show up, will come late with excuses. They'll be like, unajua ni traffic ya hapa imefanya nene. They'll come here at 9:30. And then they won't even do a good job. So I feel like what we have as a challenge in this country, which off of your question about why is Africans the way they are, and in the media spaces and all these other disciplines, we don't have a problem with unemployment more than we do integrity. Our problem is integrity. You cannot, and we are not diligent, you cannot count on someone to do something right. They are dodgy, they'll fix someone, they'll do something, and then we don't respect talent, and then we don't respect merit. So when somebody is impeccable, we want to support them, to finya them with our force,
to show them.
Yeah, nitamuonyesha atajua hii tumbo yangu iko na nini. You see, so you are an idiot, and then you are not a god, so that people should pander onto you. I mean, there's tons of life that goes on outside. It's a storm in a teacup. And maybe if a media person is watching this, you just have influence in that space. So maybe you can broaden your head outside of that space. You see, this podcast is yours, so you control this. See, you influence the four corners of your. If you don't want a particular guest, who you invite?
Yes.
Or you can talk to someone and decide not to post it.
Yes, yeah.
But that doesn't make you the warrior of the world.
Yeah, true.
Kisiangani Lord.
Yeah,
it doesn't make you that. So I feel like our biggest problem now in this country is lack of integrity, from the political class to the janitor.
Yeah.
And the day we can fix that, so that you decide that, you know what, where I've been invited, I don't have the bandwidth for it, I don't have the competence for it, and I'm going to respect and hire somebody with that competence and give them free range in terms of autonomy and not meddle. Then we can, and when you can be honest and say, this Emmanuel has merit, Emmanuel has proven himself, and I will not lord over him because I'm his boss.
Yeah, meritocracy.
Meritocracy is lacking.
It's funny you say that. Today I've seen some very interesting names of guys who've been appointed as even ambassadors, GCS. You're like, hey, I told you.
Yeah, and also integrity on the part of the person being appointed. You see, integrity is lacking in both parts, the boss and the subject. So sometimes you can look at the situation, which is why you're saying what we did when we left radio is rare. You can look at the situation and say, like, if I'm to speak to myself, I looked and said, this doesn't serve me, this doesn't serve me, this doesn't serve me, and definitely I'm not serving this space as effectively as I would because of these many becauses. So I'm leaving. So if you've been hired, like now, if His Excellency President William Ruto called me and told me, Eriq, I want you to represent Kenya in Berlin as the African astronaut with the ideals of going to NASA. I can't start celebrating and picking your calls and saying congratulations and I say thank you, thank you so much. It's Nigod. Hello, Nigod.
Cheki, no, natafuta sasa spacesuit. Because nakimbia NASA next week.
So I can call him back and say, Your Excellency, thank you, but I'm completely incapacitated in this field. If I can learn, I'm happy to learn. And from my little research, for me to be a proper, effective astronaut, I need anywhere between 4 to 8 years. So maybe give this to somebody else because I don't have the passion for it or the want to. I can't just go and say, naapa ya kwamba, unaapa nini? You see? So I feel like integrity from both ways bosses and even people being hired. You can't do everything. You're supposed to be effective. So if you don't have the fuel for it, if you're out of gas for it, if you don't have the want to, just pass it on to somebody else. Because you'll be frustrated in that job. Yes, you'll be doing trips to Milan and back, but you'll be thoroughly frustrated.
Yeah, true. You guys, let me let you go. But thank you for gracing this pod.
Thank you for inviting me. All the best in all the wonderful work you're doing. I like this Karura Comedy Club. How is your comedy coming, by the way?
It's doing well. I do a show maybe once a month with Karura. There's a place called Cares Organics where I do a monthly show.
All right.
So that is going on well. But I put most of my eggs in this podcast, because from within the podcast I can do the comedy, because when we have the live shows, so sort of like your meetups.
All right.
So my meetups will be hopefully more comedic.
All right.
Because this podcast is very chilled. So that's what I'm envisioning. So remember I said I'm doing fewer things. So so far so good. The audience has been quite gracious. So we're just keeping on, you guys.
Uona kutumia kakitu?
Mazejo.
Serious?
Hii podcast ni crowdfunded.
Serious?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's polite.
The day some guy sent $100, you guys. I was quite
$100?
Yeah, man.
You guys, you're in the dollar range.
Hey, you guys, my euro ndio tunakula on the daily. Check it.
That's polite, Maze. All the
best.
So
these people would send 100, some would send 100 shillings.
That's polite.
It's a range of people. Like, it's just a human being funded thing.
Really? That's wonderful. That's polite. Maybe I should go back to Eriq stories and start asking guys for money.
You don't have to ask. But...
Check it. Nimetoka kwa besti yangu na anakanjago. Cheki mnanikanja lini?
No, you guys. Those guys do it on their own volition.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man.
Oh, you don't have a sadaka time?
No.
Cheki, anyway, as you've heard, my voice is hoarse and I'm going to bed at midnight. Sasa mlikuwa mnasema aje?
It's on a voluntary basis.
Oh, that's polite.
Yeah, but I'm just more in the building of the community. I feel like rewards come from, as you're saying, you give and you get. So the aim is just to give the best, so that you can also get the best, whether it's from the audience or from something that will come up from what you're doing. I guess in all labor there is profit, you guys. Yeah,
absolutely.
So that's what's
No, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I'm rooting for you on the sidelines, and I cannot wait to see how this morphs into, and I pray that God uses it.
I'm sure I'll be inviting you once in a while up on a pal.
My door is open, man. I'm just a text away. You don't even need to call. In fact, I'm a WhatsApp message. Check it. Check it.
You keep doing what you're doing. Eriq Stories, keep growing that thing. Yake yote.
Asante sana.
As guys will keep mtu akinitafuta nitakuwa na mtuma huko as usual. Kama dawa.
Mademu wananiulizia ama machali?
Machali, hii podcast ni ya machali, you guys. Mademu I think wanajua penye huko.
Mademu wamenihound wananigetigi.
There's a guy called Mahenga Talks. You got that guy's out for you almost on all the pods.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man. Check it. When are you bringing Eriq Omondi Oduor?
Mahenga Talks must be one of the special ones. Mahenga ni aje? Mahenga Talks, that's polite.
Yeah, that's polite. So you guys, cheers.
Asante sana.
See you on the next.
Asante sana. Cheers.